Hey guys, this is Arnie Newton, Mr. Short Sale, and today we got a special guest, Lucas Burnett, a SUBTO student. I don't know if you guys have heard, but he is the man when it comes to subtoing vehicles. Did you guys know you guys could subto a vehicle? I didn't know that till like 6 months ago. So, but yeah, Lucas is the man on that, and so we'll talk a little bit about that today. Talk a little bit about how he got into real estate, what his thoughts on the market, the current market, and maybe what his plans for 2023. So, with that being said, Lucas, thank you for coming to the podcast today. I know it was kind of short notice. We had a little conversation last night, and what a way to start 2023 with getting, Lucas, on my podcast. So, 2022 was great for me personally. Did a lot of deals, did a lot of short sale deals, did a couple of rehabs, big rehabs. But the biggest thing in 2022 for me was being able to join SUBTO. You can see the sign back there. There you go. Yeah. Mr. Peace Morby himself. Amazing guy. So I've done SUBTO, and a lot of people already know that I've done a lot of creative financing before I ever joined SUBTO. But he kind of perfected, a lot of my methods on it, especially my negotiating tactics, a lot of the nuances when it comes to creative financing deals and the paperwork, right? But another big thing was the community. Holy crap. I didn't realize there's a huge community out there that are hungry, just like me, trying to do deals. Some are, really, been doing it for 20 plus years. Some are just brand new, but we all want the same thing. We're all trying to build our portfolio, build our, our wealth, our generational wealth, and things like that. So, but yeah, 2022 was great just because, like I said, just joining SUBTO, meeting Lucas, meeting a lot like Austin, Jeff Campbell, a lot of these guys, these SUBTO students here locally in Arkansas, just amazing people to be around. Especially, they're so hungry and knowledgeable, right? And have the same, wants in this game. So, what are your thoughts on that, Lucas?
Oh yeah, definitely. 2022 was absolutely amazing for me. It was the year I joined SUBTO. It was the year I met you and everybody else that you just mentioned, as well as countless others. I mean, I was always kind of a person that didn't do too much on social media at all. Like literally at the beginning of this year, I think it was 23 friends on Facebook. And that was just like a local circle of people that I knew, friends and family, because I had no interest in any kind of social media. It wasn't my thing. And, after I joined SUBTO and I started learning how, social media is definitely, very, very huge for people in this industry, my Facebook is sitting somewhere around 900 friends now.
Wow.
I mean, and it really happened in a matter of weeks. Once I really started, utilizing some of the strategies that you can learn about, social media branding and branding yourself. Not who cares about your company. It's all about the person in 2023. And I'm now on a different kind of mindset of I want people to know Lucas. I want people to know me and who I am and what I'm doing. And, it's definitely a learning curve. I will tell you that right there, because it's kind of weird, to always just, oh, we're going to do this now. Let's pull out the camera. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let's document this. So
mindset change, ain't it?
Oh, a huge mindset change. 2022 was the first year that I did a deal in real estate. My first wholesale was early 2022, and I can remember to this day I made right at $5,000 on that deal, and
dang.
I can remember stepping out of that title company feeling like I had robbed a bank.
Dude,
You know what I
think
mean?
about this though. Like, so $5,000, right? And that's how much some people make in 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
You made it in one deal without doing any rehab or nothing like that.
100%.
That is unbelievable. When I heard about wholesaling, I was like, "There's no way this can be legit. There's absolutely no way." Until I actually had, watched somebody do it, and then when I did it myself, I'm like, "Holy shit, dude, this is life changing."
Oh yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, imagine you do like 5, 6, 10 of those a month,
Oh yeah.
or every couple months. Man, oh my gosh, I mean, you don't need to work anymore. That's not, to me, that's not really a job anymore.
Right.
It's so much fun negotiating these deals, right? That's
Yeah.
probably the best part about it. So
Definitely, like I can remember I was super scared my first deal, just like a lot of people are probably, because I didn't want to mess up. I wanted to do everything right. I'm kind of a perfectionist at times.
Yeah.
I want to make sure everything's done. And what we tend to do when we have that type of mindset is we overthink everything.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, people always say that this is a simple process, and a truer statement has never been made. Wholesaling real estate is probably one of the most simple things to understand on this planet. It is not, however, one of the easiest things to do. And you have to make that distinction. It really takes a really good work ethic to be successful in this business, because I think one of the biggest pieces of advice I could give any new investor in this field is take massive action.
Yeah.
Because in this industry, you will not achieve anything without taking massive action. And when I say massive action, I'm not talking about, you looked at, properties for an hour and then you made 5 calls. That's, you might get a deal in a year. You have to be on that phone for hours and hours of days. You need to have consistent calls going out every single day. You need to strive for 10 to 50 actual conversations every single day. And that could be with a seller, a wholesaler, a real estate agent, a cash buyer, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to be having these conversations every single day. If you're like, well, I don't know what to say, we didn't either. When we first started out, we didn't have a clue what we were going to say. We just made the calls. Yeah. We just took action. And, so that first deal, I actually ended up selling that deal to a real estate agent that was looking to pick up a few more properties for his portfolio that he was building in that area.
Wow.
And so you don't have to know a cash buyer off the bat either. I mean, go call a couple of agents, see if they know anyone that's buying, because that was my strategy when I first started out. I would call real estate agents and see if they had any cash buyers in the area that was looking to pick up more rentals.
That's smart.
That was my first strategy to find someone to buy these properties. And I just ended up getting lucky, and the agent himself was looking for properties. So they buy too. It was just absolutely amazing. But what was hard is, anyone who's heard my story, I think I've probably told it 100 times in the last month, and it never gets old, because every time I tell it, someone gets inspired. And that's what makes it worth telling for me now, is the fact that I no longer look at my past as something that I'm ashamed of, because I was where I was, right? I look at my past now as something I'm extremely proud of, because it's something that I overcame. And for those that don't know, I was basically homeless for about 4 years. I lived in an uninsulated shed without running water in the middle of a field on top of a mountain in nowhere, Arkansas. Literally a population of less than 500. And, it was just it was a bad series of events. To really make that story as concise as possible, it was a bad series of events, a lot of family deaths. My grandpa had a stroke, and we moved out, next to him to help take care of him. My wife was going to get her CDL and quit her job. And a week before she was going to go to school, She ended up getting a promotion. She had worked for 15 years. So we ended up in a shed that we had bought to put all of our stuff in while we were going to be out on the road. And that's where we ended up living for the following 4 years after that. But just because of crazy circumstances that just fell on us. And, you know, it's kind of like when something bad happens, it tends to compound because we often have mindset issues. You know, we often get in this place and, you know, we get beat down to the point where we start beating ourselves down.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, you feel like you're working hard because you're physically working hard just to keep your head above water and keep from drowning. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But then depression starts to sink in because you're like, it's been so long. We've been working so hard. Everybody else works half as hard as we do, and they at least have a home. You know what I mean? And so it was rough. It was rough. But
and I think the thing is, and I apologize, we're going to get another microphone here, so we have to go back and forth. But you know, the thing is, with your story, is you're living that basically a shed, right? I mean, is that basically
that's exactly what it is?
It's a shed, right?
Yeah.
Basically, there's no insulation. It's
none.
It's a metal frame and metal roof, I think.
Yeah,
too.
Metal roof, wood box.
So, but you're out there giving people. You're helping out your grandfather. Your wife helping out. She works at Head Start.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that government program, how much they provide to people in need. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You and your family are just constantly giving, and you don't even think about yourselves, and you've been doing that for 4 years in the shed, and I just could not believe it. Like, there was times where you used to be on, like, obviously Pace does a lot of Zoom videos, and you would like ask a question, and you were like laying down with like blankets all over you, and I'm like, why does he have all these blankets all over him, man? It's like, is the AC not working, or a heater not working, or what?
Pace actually said right before I got out of that situation, I was on a Zoom. I'm glad you brought that up. I was on a Zoom, and he's like, dude, he was like, it looks like your phone is hanging from a ceiling right now. Because I was literally laying down under 7 blankets because it was 22 degrees in the house.
Unbelievable.
And I had probably this beanie on and a hoodie, and I had like several layers under 7 blankets just because it was freezing.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is part of the story, because I would literally sit at my desk and make calls in 120 degree weather or 22 degree weather.
Yeah.
Luckily, we got ourselves out of that situation before the polar vortex, though.
Thank God, dude, because that been really, really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, when I found that out, and I was like, man, dude, I was like, there's no excuse. I mean, this guy is making phone calls. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of phone calls in the past 4 years, dude. Thousands of phone calls. And then people complain, about, this job is hard. No, this guy's out there hustling. His hustle made him his first deal, $5,000. And I know you bought also a subject to property as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know that I think you wrapped that one. So, I mean, you're constantly doing these deals, but you're taking action, and not only that, you're partnering with other investors as well.
Absolutely.
I think that's one of the key things in the SUBTO community is the partnering up. We call it squatting up with other investors, right? I may need some private money, on a deal. There's a lot of those partners in SUBTO community. There's other people, like, say I found a deal that maybe I need to do a short sale on. I don't know anything about short sales, right? So I'll find somebody that maybe knows how to do short sales. Maybe they know how to do subject twos. Maybe they know how to do lease options, novation agreements, or subtuning a vehicle. Holy crap. I didn't even know you can even do that.
Oh, yeah.
Think about this, guys. I can, find a vehicle, right? And then take over payments on that vehicle. I don't have to get a loan anymore. He did it for his own house.
Yeah.
He found an RV in Fayetteville, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
negotiated a zero down, right? Is it zero down?
Zero down.
Hey, let's talk about that deal, man.
Okay,
I'm
let's
really
break it
excited about
down.
that. Yeah.
Let's break it down. So basically, it was 22 degrees in the shed, and I get a phone call out of nowhere. Or actually, I lie. It wasn't a phone call. I got a Facebook message out of nowhere, and this guy was like, "Hey, I saw a video online that you had done with Pace, and I saw where you had subtoed a mobile home, which is basically a vehicle because it has a VIN number."
Wait a minute. So he saw you on a video
on YouTube with
on
Pace.
YouTube.
Pace recorded before I got into SUBTO. This is usually part of my 30-minute story that I'm not going to bore y'all with today. But
Yeah.
He basically saw me on a video that me and Pace had done together prior to me getting into SUBTO, because I literally just pestered Pace on in his DMs of Instagram until he finally scheduled a phone call with me. And of course, you know, as any good content creator, he recorded that call and put it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
And made content that people could learn from. And so this guy sees this video, and it's like 6 months after being a SUBTO student. I've been a SUBTO at this point about 6 months. And he sees the video, tracks me back to Facebook from a comment that I had made underneath the video, and then literally sends me a message, says, "Hey, I saw this video you did with Pace. I saw that you subtoed a mobile home, which has a VIN number, just like a travel trailer would, an RV." And he said, "I have a travel trailer, 2018 Highland Range Open Range Roamer. It's the luxury edition. It's actually
nice.
Called the Executive Edition." And he is like, "It's just sitting in my yard." He's like, I'm paying on it, and it's just going to waste. We don't use it anymore." And he said, "I was just wanting to see if you could share some wisdom on how I could do a wrap on this." And I said, you know, I could definitely probably partner with you or something like that. I said, I'm looking for something like that myself. I might actually be your buyer. And so we started discussing that, and I ended up calling Pace, or getting on a Zoom with Pace that night, told him everything that was going on. And he was like, "So wait, you're serious? Like, this guy found you through my video, and you're about to bring your family out of homelessness, basically?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." So, and that's how it all started. That's how Pace flew out here to Arkansas, you know, loved on me and my family and our entire community. And so let's break down the deal now. The deal, it was, like I said, it's 2018 luxury model. Its retail value is right around $57,000. I got it for $40,000 principal at 17.5% interest, a 20-year amortization, with zero down and no payments for a month. And above that, I put into the contract a no prepayment penalty. And the reason I did that is because at 17.5% interest, which we'll break down why I did that interest rate in a moment, and why it seems so high compared to an interest rate on a home. Because what you need to realize is that interest rates on vehicles are completely different than interest rates on real estate.
Interesting.
So they're not going to coincide at the same rates. There have been people I know that have paid up to like 24% interest rates on vehicles. As a matter of fact, I want to say Pace told me he had paid around 20-something% on a interest rate for a vehicle. So the reason I did a 17.5% interest rate is because I needed to find a way to keep the principal low, but get the payments, the monthly payments, which was $601, needed to get them up to around $600 so the seller could make roughly a $200 a month profit margin, which is what he needed to make the deal work for him. I could have raised the principal and kept the interest low, right? And had I wanted to keep these payments in place for 20 years, that's probably what I would have done. But I wanted to pay it off probably in the first year. That's the reason I did the no prepayment penalty. Now, if you look at the amortization on that, I'm going to be paying about $7,200 in interest over 12 months. That means I'll pay $47,200, which is roughly $10,000 under retail.
Wow.
And I paid $0 out of pocket.
That's unbelievable.
And all I have to do is make a couple of assignments, and we're paying off the principal. Four $10,000 assignments, and we pay off the principal.
Show us what this kind of looks like. What's the?
It's a 2018.
Okay.
Open range. No, Highland Range. Sorry.
Highland Range.
Highland Range open range roamer.
Highland Range. How do you spell that?
It's this one right here. Open range 310 VHS.
Right down. Okay.
That'll be it.
Let's see if I get some pictures here.
That's it. You can even see the floor plan right there. That's the one.
Is it the same one right here? Similar to that?
It's
Or is it more like that one?
It's that one exactly.
Let's see.
And this is exactly the floor plan.
Share screen. I mean, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this.
It's a hella upgrade from an uninsulated shed, that's for sure.
Is there same thing? All these ones?
Yep, that one's the same right there. The one with the stallion. That one, yeah, that's it as well. This section right here, move your mouse right here. That section right there is an outdoor kitchen.
Right here. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that little section right there at the back is an outdoor kitchen.
How much something like this run?
It was retail was $57,000.
So you got a $57,000 RV, zero down. $57,000 RV for zero down.
You got it. I actually have
2018.
Yeah.
Holy crap. What's your payments again?
$601 a month.
That's amazing, dude. And you did not have to get a bank loan on this.
Nothing.
I'm telling you guys, I mean, this is what he's living in right now. This is his primary residence, guys. So it can be done. And, you just really got to open your brain, open your mind to it, right? That's unbelievable. Look at this floor plan, guys. Is the same one here?
No, it's the one on top.
This one?
No. Hold on. Scoot back up to the top.
This one?
That one right there. That's the floor plan. So it will sleep 8 people. It actually sleeps 8 people. If you look on the left-hand side of the screen there, that room is called the bunkhouse.
Does this like extend out, or that's
those are the slides. It has 4 slides. If you look, it has.
So you bring it in
Exactly when you're going down the road.
Yeah, sure.
But on the far left of that floor plan there, that's called the bunkhouse, and it sleeps 4 people.
Oh, I see it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And then right there in the living room, you can see the sectional at the top with the 2 tables.
Yep.
Those 2 tables remove, and that sectional folds out, and will sleep
another
2 people because it's extremely long. And then the master suite sleeps 2 people. It will sleep 8 people.
Wow. And that bathroom, that's a porcelain toilet too.
Yeah,
right?
that's a porcelain toilet.
So it's like a regular
with
house.
a foot flush. Yeah, it has a nice walk-in shower there and the vanity with the sink. Full kitchen. It has a propane stove. It has a microwave. It has an oven. I'm trying to think. a refrigerator, central heat and air. It has an outdoor kitchen. It has hookups where you can hook up solar panels or wind turbines. Um, it has nice storage under it. So it has basement storage, and it even has it's called a wet area outside where you can open a box, fill the water tanks and everything, and it has a garden hose where you can actually access your water and outsource. So it's absolutely amazing.
That's awesome, dude. Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks for sharing about that, man. That's really awesome. Man, so like, man, I'm just thinking about, man, what vehicle do I want?
Right.
I mean, you can do anything. I guess there's one of the questions probably the audience will be asking is, what is the paperwork like? And obviously, we won't disclose all, exact paperwork and everything, but in general, how does that process work?
Okay.
Paperwork.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So the paperwork is actually very easy on a deal like this. It's actually easier to sub to a car than it is a piece of real estate. By far. It is 4 documents. Those 4 documents literally just consist of various legal documents as well as a what's the word I'm looking for? A modified bill of sale. So you have these 4 documents, and the process is super simple. There's no closing, like you would have to go to a closing company and go through escrow. There's no closing, nothing like that. All you have to do is get these 4 documents signed. 2 of them have to be notarized, and you take all these documents to your DMV or your local office that handles that type of work. Sit down with someone with all 4 documents and get it registered in your name. That is super simple. As a matter of fact, we are starting to work with people on deals like this. We will partner with you if you find a car, truck, boat, RV, any kind of vehicle that has a VIN number. We will partner with you on those deals. And we have a flat fee that we'll charge for doing the paperwork with you. So you can't go wrong. There's no excuses. Get out there and look. I mean, here's the thing. It's not just, hey, I need a home, so let's go get a home, right? It's not, I'd like to have a bass boat, so let's just sub to a bass boat, right? It's not, you don't have to just think about it as I need a toy or I need transportation. You can also think about this from a business standpoint. You can actually sub to these RVs and put them on something like Outdoorsly, and rent these RVs out for
my gosh.
profit. You can sub to cars, dude, and put them on Turo.
So this is basically this can be a business, right?
This can be a business.
Dude, I'm sorry guys, I keep forgetting there's only one microphone here. Dude, so if I want to run my own business, renting out, or leasing out vehicles, right, such as like RV.
Yeah.
Even for me, I was thinking about doing some travel across country, and I was telling my wife, I was like, man, I'm sure there's places out there you can rent. Oh my gosh, dude, and you can get these vehicles basically for free. You know what I mean? So that's amazing, dude. That's freaking cool as shit.
So a vehicle this size, that I got, the 2018, is 37 foot long, 4 slides. A vehicle this size, you could rent that out on Outdoorsly for about $3,000 to $5,000 a month.
Wow.
I'm paying $601. You do the math on that. It's a no-brainer. I mean,
why wouldn't you do this?
Exactly. I mean, sure, you're going to need to pay a little bit more on insurance and stuff like that, but yeah, it's an absolute no-brainer. Same with like Turo vehicles, right? If you're in a market where Turo is really good, you know what I mean, and you can you definitely wouldn't want to do this in a town of 500, but if you're in a larger populated area, it's a no-brainer. You go out, sub to a car, zero money out of pocket most times because they're probably underwater. Most people who's going to sub to a car is probably underwater and
Mhm.
needs to get rid of their vehicle because they're about to get it repossessed, right? So now you go, you find these vehicles, and how would you find these vehicles?
I was about to ask that.
Super simple if you think about it. Where would you go right now if you needed to sell your vehicle and you wanted to try to sell it before it got repossessed? Where would you go? In 2023, we'd probably go to Facebook Marketplace. We would probably go to Facebook yard sale sites, Craigslist. We would go to places like this and we would post our vehicles up for sale. Hey, I've got a 2022 Camaro, 2022 Camaro, XXX amount of miles, etc. Just for 15,000, whatever the price is, right? So why wouldn't we, as investors, just go in, find these deals on social media platforms like this, and go in and pitch SUBTO to them? Say, hey, look, I couldn't buy your vehicle for cash, but would you consider selling it to me on terms? What do you mean by terms? And then just break down the deal structure to them. We'll say, hey, I could take over payments right now for you.
What if they do? Why don't you make it easier for them?
Okay.
You know, why don't they just find a vehicle, right, that they may like or they may want to use as a business, and they just call you up and let you do the negotiating?
100%.
I mean, to me, that's way easier, right? They don't need to learn all that stuff. They don't need to. I mean, they can.
Yeah.
Right. It's good. I would recommend doing it over time.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, Lucas does he's done it.
Mm-hmm.
So let him negotiate, you know, and then obviously you get paid a fee, but who cares? You're going to get a vehicle without getting a bank loan on it, you know?
And I can guarantee you that my flat fees for the two different services, because that would really break down to two different services. You've got the transaction coordination, which would include, all the document work and stuff like that. And if you want to close, of course, that would be a little bit more, but I can guarantee you it's going to be much less out of your pocket than a down payment on a brand new vehicle. That's for sure.
I love it. So I'm just going through this. I'm here on Facebook right now, marketplace, like you said, right?
Yeah.
Just looking at some vehicles here. Let me next on my screen here. Because I'm getting old, guys. I can barely see myself. All right. So, I mean, look at this. Here's some cars here, right? So what are you looking for? If somebody's looking to buy a car, right, that's potentially that they can, SUBTO, what should they be looking at?
Okay. Well, here on the screen, what I'd first be looking at is I'd want to look at the year model. I wouldn't want anything, too old. Let me see if I can go down here on the screen. I wouldn't want anything too old. So an 06 Maxima, that would definitely probably be too old for what we're looking for. We want something newer. That way,
It's not working.
No.
Here, hold on a second. Here we go. Some technical difficulties here.
You can just scroll down for me, bro.
No, go ahead.
There we go. All right. So we can hear this 06 Mac too old. It's not going to be what you're looking for, because anything that old, Turo or any of these places like that's probably not going to allow it on the system. So we have a 2010 G6 here. It's getting a little bit better. But what we're looking for is something like, trying to find something. Okay, we could start here. This might be within the range here. You will just have to check, Turo's guidelines in your area. But we've got a
It's a dealership, though. Is it
a dealership?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be the next thing we would look at here. We'd see if it's listed by a dealership or an individual. So what we're going to be looking for is anything listed.
Yeah, you might have to go back that way.
Okay.
It has 4 screens. So it goes this way. So,
Okay.
There you go. Now it's over here. There it is.
Barney has so many screens. All right, so getting back over here, let's pull on down the screen a little bit. Yeah, it's no problem. So that's just what you would do here. You would just go through these lists and look and try to find the newer model.
Can we
vehicles.
filter it right here?
You could definitely filter it.
Let
So
me filter that here. Sort by or
filter, sort by. Don't look like it has a year model there. Which what you can do though is just look here. And this was not listed by dealership. You'd want to definitely take a look at the overall condition of it. It doesn't look bad, actually.
Yeah. Can we call them up?
We could.
Let's try to call them up.
Let's do it.
Just let's do it. Okay, what's the phone number? Here, let me do not that's my personality. It's like let's just call them
up. Let's see.
Content,
do they have a phone number listed? They don't.
Okay. Yeah, so you might need a phone number for sure.
Yeah. So what you would have to do at this point is you would just send them a message.
Okay.
Right here. I'll walk you through it anyway. Yeah. You would just send them a message and say, "Hey, I'm interested in your vehicle. Is there any way we can hop on a phone call and discuss it?" Wait till they reply. They may be, there's a lot of scammers on Facebook these days, true. They may be looking to just throw out their phone number. You might want to just throw out yours. You know what I mean? And let them call you. Say, "Hey, just here's my phone number. Could we hop on a call and maybe talk about the vehicle?" Then, right there's a 2012 Audi A5. That's going to hop into a whole different bracket on Turo.
How would you, counter a objection like that? Would you send them like a credibility packet or maybe some type of like video or something like showing like
you can if you want to go that deep into it, but it's way more simple than that.
Yeah.
Literally just get on the phone and just say, "Hey, I was looking at your vehicle. Could you give me a little more info about it? Is there anything wrong with it? Has it had any wrecks? Anything wrong with the motor or the drivetrain?" You don't have to be a mechanic. Just basically try to get a good general feel of, the condition of this vehicle. Now, as a little added, benefit, if you know someone who is a mechanic, or you can find a mechanic that will check these vehicles out for you for, a free or cheap, basically.
What is Audi R8?
Man, that is beautiful.
Right? 72,000. I'm sorry, I just saw that.
But yeah, you even got me looking here. I was like, "Ooh,
nice.
I need to bring that home."
I know, right? I'm taking that home for me.
And here's the thing: you're looking at that $72,000 price point. But let's
that's the red eye. You can get that on SUBTO.
Ooh,
$78,000 red eye.
So, and that's a 2021. So that would be a perfect vehicle for Turo too.
So you said on Turo it's got to be a
newer. Yeah, it's just like with even like ride share companies like Uber or anything like that. They're going to make you have newer model vehicles. Probably nothing more than 10 years old. So you're looking for probably like 2013 and up.
2013 and
right now is what you'd be looking for. And then literally you just give them a call and just say, "Hey, I was looking at your vehicle. What's the story?" Just like Pace would talk to someone about their house. You need to find the bunnies.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If you don't know the bunny story, it's great. And you definitely need to figure out your bunnies. You need to figure out what their reason, their motivation for selling is. Okay.
True motivation.
Yes, exactly. The true motivation for selling. Because if you can figure out what their motivation is, you can figure out a solution, right? And 9 times out of 10, that solution is going to be subject to or some sort of creative finance. If they own it free and clear, the seller finance it, right? Same basic process. Let's seller finance the vehicle, or let's subject to the vehicle, Let's and then as soon as we get it, basically we just talk to them and say, hey, well, would you consider selling it on terms? And I'm going to be honest with y'all. You're going to get some explicit language on probably a bulk majority of these calls. You're going to get a million no's.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what you're also going to get with persistence? You're going to get that yes.
Yes.
And then when you get that yes, come to me. Bring me the paperwork, right? If you're deciding to do it on your own, bring me the paperwork or bring me the deal and I'll do the paperwork is what I mean.
Yeah.
Bring the deal to me. I'll do the paperwork with you. We'll partner on the deal. And you're set. We'll get it registered in your name. You can throw it on Turo and now you're making income.
Dude,
and if you negotiate these deals right, you can probably accomplish your first payment from Turo before your first payment on the vehicle is ever due.
Man, dude, I'm super excited because I want to do it myself.
It's exciting.
I'm gonna be on Facebook Marketplace all day looking at vehicles here that you can help me on.
Well, I'll do it.
Because my truck has like 210,000 miles. It's probably got another year left on it.
What do you got?
I got a Tacoma.
Tacoma?
Oh wait, Tacoma.
Oh, and you said it has how many miles?
210,000 miles.
You'll get another 300,000.
You're probably right.
It's a Toyota.
You're right. But I just, oh my gosh, this is super powerful. I cannot believe people actually do this.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's a very, very small amount of people that I know that actually have done this successfully, right? You're one. Pace is the other one, I believe. So the rest, that's really two. So just amazing, different strategy. And like I said, there's always a way to make money. You just got to be open to it. Don't take no as an answer. Figure out how to do it right, how to get it done, right? So, my first deal, it took me 1 year to get it done. Like you were saying, all the drive for dollars, all the no's, the hundreds of phone calls, but that one yes changed my life, dude.
Bro.
You know what I mean? It really changed my life. And, I was getting frustrated too. Like, man, what am I doing wrong? Everybody always talks about the good stuff, how much they made and all that, but they never talk, like HGTV, they talk about that, right? Mm-hmm. In 30 minutes, they found a fucking house. They paid, put X amount of money into the rehab and then sold it and made a whole bunch of money.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how it works, guys.
No.
Holy shit, dude. You got, there's a whole process to that. And I had to learn that the hard way, but with all those mistakes that I made, and I actually learned a lot from that, and, the next rehab got better and better. The next, negotiating got better and better, next relationship got better and better, right? Building relationships and things like that. So, but yeah, maybe just, if you guys have any questions, number one, just on real estate, but specifically on how to sub-to a car. So remember, sub-to means taking over the payments of a car. You don't have to get a bank loan to get a car, to get a vehicle. Mm-hmm. Could be RV, could be a dump trailer, right? You can rent out trailers. I know people do that all the time.
I didn't even think of that.
Right?
That's amazing.
Yeah, you can find trailers and then rent it out as a business. Oh my gosh. So
you could do this with semi trucks too.
Yeah, anything that's that you have to register to the DMV. This is the man. There's nobody in Arkansas right now that's doing this. I could almost guarantee that.
No.
Okay. And good on you for number one, taking action on it. But we also got lucky too, right? We both were able to find pace.
Oh yeah.
Without pace, we would never figure this out.
No.
So now leverage this. Help other people out. Mm-hmm. But yeah. So thanks for sharing that. I appreciate that. I'm just super stoked on learning more about it.
Oh yeah.
Because I want to do it myself.
Absolutely.
I want to learn it from my own vehicle.
Well, it's powerful. Yeah. It really is. I mean, because you can look at this several different ways. It's powerful, one, in the business building aspect of it, right? But it's also very powerful from the standpoint of are you homeless right now? Do you have a job but your car just blew up? You got $120,000 or miles on a Nissan and it just decided to implode like Nissans do. Sorry, I hate Nissans right now because I had one and it imploded on me at like 120.
Yeah.
So
all right.
That's the thing. Like, where are you at in your life right now? Are you in a situation where you need a strategy like this to help you get to the next level? You know what I mean? Are you homeless and you need somewhere to stay? We can arrange that with subject to.
It doesn't, and it doesn't just have to be subject to. By the way,
Yeah.
there's a lot of different creative options out there, like straight seller financing. So if say the homeowner owns a property free and clear, right, or a vehicle free and clear as well, right? So it doesn't have to be subject to where you take over payments. You can structure a deal where they basically give me the bank, 100% to be the bank to you, right? And then you just negotiate a certain payment per month, right? And how long. So
yeah, absolutely. And we're talking mainly about things with VIN numbers right now, but I don't want it to seem like I'm not interested in real estate anymore either, because we're still definitely highly motivated to do deals in real estate. We're going to kick off 23 right. We're going to be pushing a lot of marketing into Arkansas. Arkansas is really where we're going to focus the most of our energy, basically. But if you guys have any real estate deals that you're having trouble dispoing, especially in these areas, Arkansas, Nashville, Central Florida, the Poconos and Lehigh Valley region of Pennsylvania, and two cities in Texas, which would be Houston and DFW. Definitely, reach out to us. Let us know that you've got deals in those areas, and we'd love to partner on those deals with you. We do have buyers in those areas.
So Raymond says, but if it is paid off, you may be able to owner finance instead of sub 2.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. So that would be actually the strategy that I would pursue if, whatever it is, whether it's real estate, it's a car, it's an RV, whatever the case may be. If there's no longer any debt on the property or the vehicle, we would pursue seller finance because the seller owns it free and clear. So, you can't subject to a debt that isn't there, right? So you would go with that strategy. You would go with seller finance and not subject to. Now, if there is a debt, if there's a mortgage on the property or there's a lien on the vehicle, there's a loan in place on the vehicle, right? Then you would use subject to. And basically, for anyone who does not know what subject to is subject to existing mortgage, or in this case, subject to existing loan, would be a process of keeping the debt in the seller's name. So basically, the debt is still registered in the seller's name, but you take over ownership of the property, the vehicle, the property, the house, whatever, right? You're taking ownership of that property and paying their mortgage for them. And then you can always, not want to confuse anybody who's new, but you can always do a hybrid as well, that's what this deal ended up being for my travel trailer. It was a hybrid because I put a seller carryback or seller finance in with my subject to. So basically, I was taking over the payments every month, which was like $400 and something, the mortgage. Or the loan, I should say, in this case, I took over those payments and I'm paying those, but I'm also paying an additional $201 a month to the seller in the form of a seller finance. So that's actually called a hybrid deal. So I personally don't have any cash buyers in Austin, but we will JV properties in Austin and bring them to our network. If you're not in Sub2, we'll bring them to our network in Austin.
Awesome. Yeah, and I think Raymond is actually Sub2 as well, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Awesome. So, I mean, is there any other, issues or anything with a, Sub2 of a vehicle that people need to know about? Is there anything that we're missing that maybe they should know?
Okay, so I think with any subject to that, you always have to be aware of this is a completely legal process. That's the first thing you need to know. It's 100% legal to do this, but you also have to understand that most of the times, whether it be real estate or it's a loan on a vehicle or whatever, these lenders do have certain, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Company.
Servicers?
No, I'm thinking about they have policies.
Oh.
They have policies set in place that says that you can't do this, right? And so they reserve the right to call the loan due if they were to catch you doing something like this. But here's the thing you have to understand. A bank is a bank is a bank. And a bank is in the business of making money. And the only way they're going to find out that the ownership has changed hands and potentially call the loan due is if the payments are not getting paid. That is the main thing that's going to have them to basically do an audit on the account, right? Now, there are certain times, this usually happens in, much larger companies. But there are times when they may do like a random company-wide audit, right? Maybe they're going to sell off some of their debt. It could happen, but does it happen often? No. And I'm not even worried about it, to be honest with you. If you've ever listened to Pace talk about this is a non-issue you shouldn't worry about, because there are ways, or even if it did get called due, there are ways around it, and they're super easy, but it's probably not going to happen.
So I got a question. So when you sub-to a vehicle, right? And the loan company says, this changed title. Is it really changed title? Can they call the loan due on a sub-to of a vehicle? Can they ever do that? Have you ever thought of that?
Yeah, I would assume they could, because it does change hands. The ownership of the vehicle does change hands because of the documentation that we use.
Mm-hmm.
The documentation we use basically gives us the legal right with all state agencies to get this vehicle registered in our names. Or, if you're doing business, you might want to do it like I did it, and I had it registered basically in my company's name, right? So now it's an asset within my company. And we could go down a whole nother rabbit hole on another day of how, maybe there might be tax advantages, since I work out of this RV and it is technically my office. There are deductions that can be taken from that, and since I have them, I have it registered within my business, I'm passing it through all of my deductions that I can take through my business entity. So
smart.
You have to think about it like that too. So but yeah, it definitely, they could call the loan due, but do I think it will happen? Maybe 1 in a million, to be honest. And I'm not just saying that because it's a saying. No, I'm seriously saying probably the odds are 1 in a million.
So Raymond asked, but you only get the pink slip once it is paid off, correct?
Correct. So basically, it's just like a sub-to deal on a house. They usually hold the deed, or they hold a lien on the deed.
Well, it's not deed though, right?
Well, I'm saying with a house.
Oh, with house. Okay.
With a
yeah,
house.
yeah,
I'm making a comparison.
Gotcha.
That,
Gotcha.
it's the same way. You know, when you do a subject to on a house, basically that lender has a lien on that deed, and they won't release that lien until the debt's paid off. But we have certain documentation in place that says that when that property's paid off, that lien is paid off, that that title is sent to us, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's the same way with subject to of a vehicle. Yeah, we do not get the pink slip or the title until that vehicle's debt is paid off, its loan is paid off. But because of the documentation we put in place, that title comes to us, not to the seller of the vehicle, right? It comes to us upon paying the debt off.
Amazing. All right. Well, so we're almost at the hour mark, so we'll probably end it very shortly here. And this is, like I said, this is the first video of many. And I really appreciate your time and letting my audience know about how to subject to a vehicle. I think it's a very, very powerful strategy. And a lot of people don't even know about it. Even for me, and I'm a SUBTO student, I'm not even 100% savvy when it comes to it. And I'm not. And honestly, I'm just gonna go partner with somebody who knows what they're doing. If I find a vehicle like that I want to, subject to. So, how do people get a hold of you in case they find a vehicle?
Okay, yeah, definitely. So I'm on all social media platforms. The best way to reach me is either Facebook or Instagram. If you're going to try to reach out on social, you can find me on Instagram at @the_real_ Lucas Burnett. You can also find me on Facebook under Lucas Burnett, and you can actually call me. If you want to save my phone number, it's
what's your Instagram again?
Okay, yeah, it's the real, all one word, underscore Lucas Burnett, LUCAS BURNETT.
NETT.
You got it. And then just Lucas Burnett on Facebook. And then my phone number is 870-805-4752.
Cool.
Awesome.
So there's Lucas's Instagram at the real Lucas Burnett. So again, thank you so much for taking your time today.
Oh, absolutely.
I know you live out. Was it
Pleasantville? Pleasant Plains, yeah.
I keep saying Pleasant View.
No,
I've never been in that town, man. Holy
Pace, when he was out here, he said, "What is this, Nevada?"
Nebraska.
That's what it was. Nebraska.
Yeah. So I didn't even know. I've never even been in that town. I've never been to Batesville, but it's a beautiful area, by the way. Beautiful area if you like the country. But yeah, again, thank you very much. I cannot wait for 2023. The next 2-3 years, there's going to be oh my gosh, so many properties out there that you can take down on creative financing.
Oh yeah.
Please, follow Lucas. He is an active student. I know you're going to be hiring some VAs very shortly. Word on the street, there's probably 25,000 leads that you're going to be potentially, going for. Oh my goodness, man. So if you're a buyer out there, you need to connect with Lucas too.
Absolutely.
Okay? And if you want a partner, if you're a private money lender, this is the man. I mean, he has a direct line with Pace. I mean, I know it, anytime he has a questions, he can, he doesn't DM, he texts Pace. So that's a freaking cool thing right there. Number one, being, what they say, your network is your
net worth.
Net worth, right? Amazing. I think I posted something like that on Instagram. Amazing. Yeah. So again, thank you for your time. We'll do a part 2 on, whatever you guys want to, talk about or, want to know about, should I say. Maybe do like a, wraps. I know you're very savvy with wraps.
Absolutely.
Right? So we could, when you take down a property subject to, you owner finance it on the back end, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's called a wrap, right? Wraparound mortgage. Amazing strategy. It's another way to make money. Least amount of risk with the highest amount of reward. This is the same thing what banks do, right?
I would like to go ahead and add to that too, and we definitely need to do a podcast on wraps because that is something that's very close to my heart, something I'm passionate about. I would like to let all the Sub-2 students know that there's actually two ways, especially in Arkansas, to take down these wraps as well. There's the way that costs absolutely pretty much no money on the transaction coordination side. And then you can always come to someone like me to get that transaction coordination done because most people are not going to fill out a promissory note and a mortgage themselves, right?
Yeah.
We're currently in the process of learning how to create those documents. So we can definitely help you with any wraps that you have in the future.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks again. Like I said, we'll do a part 2 maybe in a couple weeks on a topic that we'll come up with. But Happy New Year's, guys. Let's make 2023 an amazing year. Partner with other investors. You don't need to do everything yourself, right?
No.
But we're absolutely willing to help you guys out. So thanks again for listening. Appreciate it. Love you guys.